Hey guys, Law here. Got Justice with me.
Yeah.
Got Diabetes Ninja.
Top of the morning.
And these are our thoughts on the new Marvel vs. Capcom game, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Not a review. We've only played a bunch of multiplayer. We haven't seen the story. I'm assuming that it's as bad as everybody says it is, but that's not what people play Marvel for anyway. We obviously haven't played every character extensively. But, first impressions. Just to clear the air. And I didn't think it was that bad, gameplay-wise.
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. It felt good.
Well, I don't know. Let me get the basic stuff we already know out of the way, just so everybody can recognize that I recognize it. Yes, the character select is a lot smaller than last time. Yes, the arena select is pretty bland. Yes, some of the animation and models are a little janky, but not bad. The game looks a lot better than people are saying it is. People are saying that the game looks like garbage. Nah.
Really.
Do you guys not play a wide variety of fighting games or something? This game looks fine. For a fighting game, this is more than fine.
It fits its art style.
Yeah. Which, I mean...
And, I don't see the smaller character list as a bad thing.
The small character list size isn't the bad thing. What's bad about it is that there's so many repeating characters that people who've played Ultimate so much just already know. So, new content is what people are complaining about. And I understand that. I kind of did get to a point pretty early on where I was like, okay, I already know what characters I want to play and what I don't want to play.
Yeah, but, I mean, that's going to happen in most fighting games. And also, I didn't play a lot of 3, but I know that the people I played that carried over from what I did play in 3 and also from what I played before 3 definitely felt different than they used to.
Yeah, everybody's been worked.
Some
people have been worked. Some people have been worked a lot. Like Rocket Raccoon is completely different.
Yeah.
So yeah. I don't know. There are definitely legitimate complaints about it, and of course, I don't know if we want to dive into the PR nightmare.
No, I don't.
Yeah. I'm
looking at it as a fighting game. I don't care about anything else.
Yeah, I'm gonna touch on this, and then I'm gonna leave it alone. Everything Combo Fiend said, you can just throw out the window.
Combo broken.
But taken on its own merit, it's not that bad. The game functions. The tag mechanic's fun.
The tag is real snappy.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I played a fighting game with a nice snappy tag. Probably Virtua Fighter 3 had a pretty responsive tag, and then King of Fighters 11 wasn't bad, but you couldn't do it like an air or whatever. Mm-hmm. Do you not remember Virtua Fighter 3?
I don't remember tagging.
Wasn't that the one with tag?
No, there was 2 different games. 3 and 3 Team Battle are 2 different games. They're not the same game.
Oh, okay. No, okay, yeah.
3 was the one with the uneven surfaces. It was actually you'd be
Weird.
fighting on sand hills and stuff like
It may
that.
not even be Virtua Fighter. I might be thinking of another 3D tag game, but what would it even be?
I don't know, but this isn't about 3D tag
Some
games.
some
This is about
obscure.
Marvel.
I play a lot of obscure fighting games, guys.
We're off topic.
We're off topic, so Ninja, you're awfully quiet, and I know that you're a huge Marvel fan, bigger than me and Justice for sure.
In the interest of letting everybody finish their points, because there's a lot to go over and I have a lot to say, I wanted to go and let everybody else do their thing first.
Well, I'm going to hold off on my final verdict until we're ready for final verdicts. But I don't know. I'd give it people always get upset if I number things because I always number everything super low. To me, 10s don't exist or whatever. But I'd give it a 6 or a 7. It's fun.
As a person who hasn't really been invested in the series since... Well, I mean, I wasn't really invested into it. I just played it because it was...
Everybody played Marvel 2 a shit ton.
Yeah. As someone who didn't really have any investment in the series, I think it's a good fighting game. I had a lot of fun playing it. I would definitely play it again.
Yeah, see, the thing is, I don't know if it's $60 plus DLC, because the way I look at it with the DLC model, Capcom wants me to shell out $100 over the period of the next few months for this game. There is no reality where I do that.
Have they announced prices on the DLC?
It's you get 2 characters and combos for 10, I think. and they're like 6 are coming out, and then they're going to do more later. So that would be an extra $30 on top of the 60, so 90.
Yeah,
That's
it feels like it's about standard for games right now.
it might be standard, but it's still too damn much.
Fair enough.
It's a buy when it goes on sale, and it will go on sale. And there probably will be an ultimate version, as much as people were saying they probably won't. Or there'll be a sale that's so good that comes with DLC that you'll call it the ultimate version. Like, those deals will exist. Get it then. There's other fighting games I could be playing right now. Like I said, I have a shit ton of obscure ones. We'll have to play them on the channel one day. It's hard commentating over fighting games. That's why we didn't do it this time.
I also just don't think they're kind of the style of video that we do well.
Yeah.
Because you're not really... I don't feel like there's a lot to commentate on. It's mostly just the people that want to watch them just want to watch the fight.
Yeah.
And we're not that good.
Yeah, also we're garbage. Like, you can look at the background, I have some gameplay, and we are playing it casual. We are, like, stopping...
Oh, yeah, like, my first couple rounds of this game, I just got destroyed. I was figuring out the buttons.
Well, it's casual, and there's parts where you'll see us, like, stop and just do a move over and over again just to test something out. But, like, I'm definitely not Blue River Kane over here. But, yeah, that's my thoughts. And I guess that's yours, Justice.
Yeah, pretty good.
Not a whole lot. Now, I know Ninja is a hardcore Marvel fan. He loved Marvel 3. So, I'm sure he has a different perspective than the both of us. Go for it, man. It's all yours.
Okay, so if you were going to try to, like, understand our perspectives, I think that if you started with Lar, he is the type of gamer who is the least likely of us to invest on a retail product at full price, and I think that I am the most likely of the three of us to invest on a physical game at full retail price. And the way that games are a moving target these days, the way that what you finish with is not what you started with, I've come to peace with, and Lar inherently thinks that this is like antagonistic to his existence or something like that. So to those who are acclimated to the current environment where you buy a game and you like know that there's going to be more game later and it may cost more money, if you're acclimated to that environment, you are probably not going to have any impediments between you and enjoying this game at its full potential. What we've heard about their plans to roll things out reminds me a lot of Killer Instinct. And to those who invest in particular fighting games over the long haul, I think that there's plenty to sink your teeth into over the next 4 or 5 years, similar to the way that Killer Instinct is not the same game that it was 2 years ago. It's a much, much, much improved game now. And the way that like incremental improvements to Street Fighter V have resulted in it being a better game in 2017 than it was in 2016. And then whenever they continue rolling out content next year, Street Fighter V will be even better in 2018 than in 2017. I now think that this game is going to be like a referendum on the way that content is rolled out in the future. It's a business model that Lar cannot get behind, and it's a business model that a lot of people who are talking heads on the internet are like rallying against. However, development costs keep going up, and they have to get the money somewhere, or we just are going to have games that have less to them. Whenever you look at the credits of Marvel vs. Capcom 1, you'll see like roughly 60 names. Whenever you like look at the credits for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, there are probably 60 people working motion capture.
So I haven't seen the credits, so I would have no idea.
I imagine it'll probably be similar. It'll be just as labyrinthine as watching the credits to a Star Wars movie.
But see, like the argument that it gets better over time, and that there'll be more over time, and that it's a better game.
For some people.
Yeah, for some people. I think that would be a stronger argument than just not buy day one.
Okay.
Unless
for people like you. That's what I'm saying is a particular type of consumer is going to be able to appreciate it.
Yeah, waiting for deals is a thing that a lot of people do.
people want to be on the frontier. Some people do want to be on the frontier. And so for the consumer who wants to pay full retail price so that they can be on the frontier and be there for the evolution of the entire product, I think that if that costs additional money, that is not a quit incline for me. But if you're trying to use, DLC is proof that the game released incomplete, if you are looking for your confirmation bias fodder, you will be able to use this new business model to basically say the video game industry is basically selling us incomplete games now, and this is further proof.
It's kind of a topic on its own.
That's what this game is, though. This game isn't just, is it a good fighting game? Because we're talking about all of these things about the business model and comparing it to past games that we've played and how, as a company, Capcom is doing practices that you didn't see them doing in 2011.
It's definitely inseparable from the release, and it's hard to try to judge the game without getting all that, because every time I think of some of the shit Capcom's pulled, especially with Street Fighter Tekken, and the fact that they're not even trying to hide it, I'm sure those characters on the disc. It installed 40 gigs on my hard drive. I had to delete games just to play this. It bugs me. So it's really hard, but I'm trying to come and say, just judging it as a game, it's alright. But you seem like you have a lot more to say, Justice. Let's let you take it.
The whole DLC thing is interesting because people hate it and people are fine with it. And it's really, I think, dependent on where you came in. Because a lot of people who hate it judge it based on games that they used to play before DLC was a thing, or before updating games was a thing. So you would just buy a game for its flat-out price, and you get the game, and that was the game forever. Which some people liked. I like how it is now, where the games can update and add new content in later and become more of a more fleshed-out game over time. Just because I remember back in the PS2 days buying a fighting game and thinking it was going to be great, and then getting home and realizing it was just janky and terrible, and it was not getting patched. This is what you spend your money on.
The patch was going back to Walmart and seeing Virtua Fighter Evolution for $20. They have shelves of that shit.
So I personally love the fact that games can continue to add later and fix things later, and that whole marketplace, but it does change how games are priced because it changes how people have to work on games. You no longer just release a game and move on to the next one. You have to release a game, then maintain it, and then update it, and then add stuff later.
Well, additionally, what I think that this illustrates is that different people have different approaches to deciding whether or not they've gotten the value out of what they paid for. I think that what a person can glean from all of this is that I am the type of consumer who is willing to pay $60 on the front end and then scale up that investment later depending on the improvements in quality that are offered later, or leave it, take it or leave it, but I'm not mad that the option exists. I think that Lar is the type of consumer who does not want that. Instead, you have to in order to sell to Lar, you have to have your thing be basically complete and standalone, and he is not going to be inclined to pay full price unless he really thinks he's going to get
if I don't think the game
a 500-hour
release, I'm not buying it. Just flat out.
Well, here's the thing that complete is such a funny idea, because at $60, how much do you need to get out of something?
I mean, for $60, what I have to get out of it? A product that I'm probably going to sink, I don't know, about 30 hours would be ideal for me.
Okay, now knowing that, I think that 30 hours would be easy to get out of this game. And even though that is the number you just said, you've already declared it a non-purchase. But what I'm saying is, even if I only got 15 hours out of it, I would think that I had gotten my money out of it, because basically it would be $4 an hour, and I would be okay with that with the level of fun that I'm having. So I think that for without touching the online component, which we haven't touched yet, without having gone into the story mode, I think that couch multiplayer, I think that there's 25 hours worth of fun that I can talk you guys into, and I'm going to be interested in it for much longer than that. There's no conceivable way that I would not get the $60 value out of the purchase of this game.
I don't see myself ever playing it the way I played Blaze Blue or Tekken.
Oh well, we didn't play Blaze
That's
Blue.
a different.
Or Tekken.
That's
We devoured Blaze Blue.
Oh, dude, we fusion hogged that shit.
No, for a
became
while
one.
there, we were straight up like, I would wake up, I would eat food, I would come over, and we would play Blaze Blue.
Yes.
okay. Now we are trying to compare. Great doesn't have to be the enemy of greater.
I'm
you
not-
know what I
I'm-
mean?
that's not-
Like,
I was just that's exactly what I was just trying to say is that like I wasn't comparing it to Guilty Gear or Blaze Blue because there is nothing to compare to that.
Yeah.
There's not been a fighting game that I've done that with since, and that's not just fighting games. That's just me as well. Like I don't want to do that.
But when you become older, you don't consume video games as much as you did as a kid, or I don't, and the people that I personally know don't. You know,
Well, here's the thing,
hashtag
though.
not all.
if pizza is your favorite food, do you want to eat pizza 7 days out of the week? Because other food. Okay.
You have to
Okay. So
with the pepperoni.
That's not true. I'd miss steak.
Steak pizza is a thing at
No,
Little Caesars
That's
now.
not the same.
It really isn't.
okay. So I guess that's what I'm really trying to say is that I will eat things other than pizza. Laura wants pizza every day.
I don't understand the analogy related to Marvel.
Because Marvel
I'm gonna-
isn't Blaze
I'm
Blue.
gonna go
It isn't
ahead.
Guilty Gear.
I'm gonna go ahead and cut you off for a second, and because you're coming at me really hard, like this is like a presidential debate. It is very true that I'm not hip on DLC. Like I don't really like it. I do kind of feel like these characters are probably going to end up being already completed. So like, and see, I also have this huge mistrust where it's like, oh, we're going to support the game forever, and then it's like you release what you announced, and then you don't support it past that.
Well, we can't really tell.
Okay, but
right now.
you're telling people the typecast of consumer that you are, and that's what I'm trying to get at is who is this game for? It is a rental for the Lars, and it's a purchase for the diabetesNINJA. So I think that that's what we're really trying to do is like who is this game for? I think that
Yeah,
people who
'cause
like
it's
being on the
subjective,
frontier, who have no problem with it being a scaled telescoping experience, are going to be the ones who like get their investment out of it as a purchase.
We're almost jumping the gun because we haven't even talked about the stones and the mechanics.
Yeah,
yet.
we haven't really talked about the game.
Oh, that's available everywhere.
It's
yeah,
everywhere,
that's
but
what the video. I mean, so is this really. Just people vomiting up about DLC and new business models. You can find it anywhere.
yeah. So I mean, we're not breaking new ground. Like we're just giving our thoughts for our channel, like what we think.
Now, as far as the game itself goes, and this is one of the things that is kind of like a gray area for me as far as the whole DLC characters later down the line, is that right now, honestly, it feels like a complete game. It feels like a full-on fighting game has been released. There's a lot there. There's a good variety of character roles to pick from. You like zoners, you like grapplers. Everything's there. The stone system is very interesting and feels like it can do a lot of things if you get in depth with it. And feels like it can really change a team and a game completely.
I honestly expect a patch for some of those stones.
Oh, the Soul Stone.
The Soul Stone. Just come back from the dead. I'm sure that, like, the community will have at it and will either find a way that it all balances out or find something else that's
Keep in
completely
mind,
broken.
like, we've played it for an hour, maybe?
No. We've been going at it since...
got
might as well
here,
just
too.
say it. I might as well just say it on camera. We've been going at it since like 9:30, and we stopped at like 12 something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
So, yeah, I think
it's a good enough game that you will forget what time it is. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, it's a fun fighting game.
But I don't know. I was also kind of getting bored there towards the end,
I wasn't.
and well, that's cool. And I could see myself playing it. Like if somebody else owned it and I was chilling with them and they wanted to play it a lot, I would absolutely.
Which, in my opinion, is a step up, because my involvement with Marvel 3 was that somebody was like, hey, we're playing this today, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. and I played like 2 rounds of it, and I was like, cool, I'm not playing this anymore. I didn't enjoy the game.
Yeah, I lost my love for Marvel 3 after a while, too.
That one, however, I didn't feel that way. I enjoyed every second of getting my ass kicked.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a place where you can get game reviews that don't fetishize skills.
Yeah, well, we don't fetishize skill, but also we didn't lose the tutorial fucking Cuphead. So, we're like the happy middle ground.
Anyway.
So, I don't know. Anything else to add, Ninja?
Well, if you're wanting me to talk about the nuts and bolts, in my time with it, I played with a couple of different types of team mixes. I used a predominantly ranged team. I used a be in your face and be strong at you team, and then I used a utility team. And then I just played around, and I thought all of them, once you figured out the moves, you would be able to use your intuition to basically institute the game plan. And I think that whenever they're talking about the different boxes that you would need to check off, I think that being able to do that in a satisfying way is important. And I was able to get that out of it. And I had fun with it. I thought it was responsive. I don't care about graphics and sound the way that Lara does. He in particular wanted it to be way more Japanese.
It's not a lot of people really, even me to some degree. Like I used to not care at all about graphics or sound, but man, I gotta admit, I've been getting a little spoiled lately. But the graphics and sound of this one is pretty good.
Actually, I don't know. Music's really unmemorable. There were some remixes of like Capcom tunes, and they were some of the worst flat redemptions I've ever
really have
heard.
any strong feelings one way or the
And,
other. And I also
they're just boring.
The stages. There's not a lot of stages, but I felt the stages were pretty cool and interesting. There's a lot to look at in the background.
They kind of started blurring
cameos.
it together, to be honest. Like I kind of stopped forgetting which stage was which because they.
I feel like it's a personal thing, really.
Maybe. I don't know. I wonder if other people are feeling that or not.
I mean, if you just keep them in the background, I mean, they are backgrounds after all. Then
No,
yeah,
no,
I feel
wait.
like they don't really stick out. But
Garbage Chicken on the Road was awesome, though.
just if you take the time to look into the backgrounds, like there's a lot going on, and all of them.
Yeah, I don't know. There is, but then at the same time there isn't.
Good talk.
In the sense that like nothing really caught my eye, I guess. Like there were some fighting games where like they're super cut my eye. There's some funny games where like the backgrounds really do like grab your attention, and they're very like the original Blaze Blue felt that way to me, and a lot of the Tekkens do. Although Tekken's 3D, so maybe that's not fair.
Yeah.
And well, Darkstalkers, you'll never forget those fucking backgrounds.
See, actually, I'm the opposite with Tekken. Tekken, none of the stages really stuck out to me in a background sense. They just stuck out with me in like a how far am I from the wall sense.
Oh yeah.
That was
Well,
as far as I
Tekken 6 was bad about that in a way.
Anyway,
I look at the quality of the backgrounds as being ancillary. Now, I think that whenever you're a spectator, it matters more than whenever you are a player. As a player, you don't interact with the backgrounds the way that you do in Injustice, and so I'm kind of agnostic about it. I thought that the gameplay was fun, and I don't hold it to too many other different standards. The game rewards creativity. I don't know, man. Everything seemed fine to me, except for the parts that were like considerably above average, and it scored high ranks in the stuff that I cared about.
yeah,
So
as far as just raw gameplay goes, I have nothing to complain about really.
It's a 2D tag style battle done pretty well.
Yeah, it's got a lot of variety. There's a lot of depth to it. It's a very meaty game.
You can call out your partners anytime, and it doesn't cancel specials. That's wild.
Oh, yeah. The stones again add just a ton of variety to your game, and again, like with the character cast,
I just picked Soul over and over again. To be honest,
I mean, I think at the end I started going more towards Power because Power is just good.
Soul and Time,
That wall bounce.
dude. If you pick the Darkstalkers character, but you pick Time so they can dash like a normal character, it's so good.
Yeah. I had another thing that I was thinking. Oh yeah, with the character cast, which I think is about the size that you want a fighting game's character cast to be. Honestly, I think they covered a lot of roles and they covered them very well.
Well, I'm looking forward to see what else that they roll out that we don't know about. We were playing without the benefit of any of the DLC characters, you'll notice.
They're not out yet.
So, once again, moving target, like, I don't consider what we know about it to... We know less than 1% of what's in the game, and I'm sure that similar to Street Fighter V, in addition to characters, we're probably going to be getting additional backgrounds. I think that the Killer once again, I can't stress enough, the Killer Instinct models, I think that what we're going to be doing at the de facto standard in games now. And now that we see that Geese Howard is going to be coming to Tekken, I'm even further convinced that, like, probably we're going to get, like, 2 characters and a stage per season in fighting games moving forward. I just think that that's, like, what's going to happen, and I'm satisfied with it, and I welcome the growth.
So
The stuff that was missing, people, of course, are going to wish that Sentinel was in there. They're going to wish that Magneto and Storm and Doctor Doom were in there. The game didn't feel like it was lacking for not having them. There's still plenty to do.
no, honestly, quite the opposite for me at least. I didn't have to deal with somebody floating in a corner for 3.5 years.
Yeah, so people who, I feel like the people who are missing are the ones who create a lot of the stuff that drives away novices. I think that if they are trying to make something that's, like, welcoming to the uninitiated, the people that were excluded due to licensing rights are going to be, like, welcome absences. And like I said, there's still plenty to do. You don't really need those guys.
And I dare you to look like a hardcore fan in the eye and be like, Wolverine is a welcome absence. And just see how well that conversation goes.
But do we need Wolverine? Thinking about it. Do we need him? What
From a
does he do that we
gameplay
don't have?
from a gameplay perspective, maybe we don't. But the whole point of a crossover is have characters you care about fight each other.
Yeah, but
That's
We've
like
already had that appetite satisfied a bunch of different times, though. Now we just want to repeat experiences we've already had, if that's what we're doing. And to be honest with you,
it's
I'm
a new
okay.
game. Let it be a new game.
Yeah, let it be a new game, because I don't need Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Part 2. Like, I don't need that.
No one else does either.
well, see, no, because it's in this weird purgatory of like, it wants to be a new game, cool, but the majority of those characters got there over other characters because the models were made. Like, no, hear me out, because I see you rearing up, but like, why are the only Resident Evil representatives the ones and the models and the outfits from Ultimate 3 when, like, they have nothing to do with the current Resident Evil that's out? Or even Resident Evil 6, which has been out for years.
Give me Jack.
Why is Arthur in the game?
Okay. That bothers Laura in principle. It doesn't bother me in principle.
Well, no. If you want a new game, how come we don't have, like, an entirely new, like, character list that reflects current Capcom, and we kind of have a character list that represents current Marvel?
I think that they looked at what they needed in there, and they made sure that everything that they wanted to do mechanically was present, and then stripped everything else out, and were like, we don't want redundancies, and we are gonna, like, figure out how to, like, have some stuff that we wouldn't have otherwise been able to have.
Yeah, it felt very much like a refocusing. Like, they wanted to make just a good fighting game this time, and they saw that they had all the pieces there, but they had too many pieces, and it really feels like they just tried to cut out some of the fat,
Yeah, if you're gonna have gyms, you don't need 50 people. And I know that people are gonna, like, wish for, like, a 50-person cast and a third character, but I feel like the gyms definitely offer enough variety to where maybe they're not quite as varied as isms, where you think of Dormammu with reality as being different than Dormammu with space. The meta will eventually bring us to that point. Like I said, it's a moving target. Now, mechanically, the last thing I'm going to say about it mechanically is that there are a couple of things to know. The button layout is more similar to Marvel vs. Capcom 1, and that the instead of being like 1, 2, 3, and 4, like the combo would need to go 1, 3, 4, 2. Instead, each character has a different way that you would initiate. I did not think that the auto combo broke anything. The combo in its entirety will do about 10% damage. And compared to other tactics in the game, that seems completely fair to me. I think it is a useful tool for bridging the gap between beginners and the well-initiated. So I haven't figured out the button layout, but you're not going to be able to instantly just pretend it's ultimate and do well. And the auto combo doesn't break the experience for me. So that's pretty much what I got on the mechanical nuts and bolts.
It almost seems like that's too nitty gritty to bring up when you're 30 minutes into a video.
Well, I mean, we spent the first 30 minutes of the video not talking about the game at all, so...
Yeah, well, like I said, it's hard to separate it from all the drama that surrounds it.
I guess. I don't know, man. It's a good
honestly, if you guys want to try to make a point to Capcom that they need to tighten up their business model, you're not missing that much, in my opinion. Go ahead and do it.
Okay, also, let's not pretend that they're the only ones. Let's not pretend that they are the ones who, like, are the only... They're not the only publisher championing this business model. Like, it's starting to be the established way that... And it's also been successful in a bunch of other instances that nobody complained about. So...
Yeah, I was actually just thinking about... Because we were talking about the DLC model and adding content later, and I was like, fighting games are one of the areas where I've never been a fan of that. But then I think about the other competitive games that I play that are not fighting games, but like fighting games where they add new characters, and it doesn't break the game, and it doesn't make the game unfair, it just adds something to the game.
Overwatch doesn't charge me every time they release a character, though.
And that's a bit different, but...
Now here's the thing that I will say where this game may be able to introduce characters, and I've heard of fighting games where whenever they introduce a character, they, like, make that character stupid strong, so that way it's basically pay to win. The reason that I don't think that has to happen here is because whenever they do new characters, what I think that they will be mindful of is, can this character be supplementary to the current meta to where maybe Blackheart gets brought out and then now he's like a second Dormammu, but, like, not exactly the same, but they're really complementary of each other.
There's no way for us to even comment on that without tinfoiling.
Yeah, that's all speculation.
Yeah, there's no way for us to even comment on that right now.
But it's all speculation the other way around as well.
I mean...
There's room for it to be possible is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's room for a lot of things to be possible, but we'll see. As far as a reaction video on how we felt about the game as it stands...
I loved it.
2 days after release, it doesn't really have a place. That's what I'm saying. So yeah.
Well, no, people are saying that as a quit incline, though, and I'm like, no, don't let that be a quit incline, please. That's what I'm saying. Like... Because that's ultimately the point that I'm trying to make, is that, like, don't automatically assume that people having a bellyache about it is a reason not to play this game, because Magneto not being there won't stop you from enjoying it. It having DLC characters will not stop you from enjoying it, unless you're like a real specific type of gamer, and I feel like there are more people who are willing to enjoy it than those who are, like, looking for a confirmation bias quit inclined to, like, not enjoy the game. And if you know that you're already that person, you just shouldn't even rent it. Just don't even rent the game. If you don't think that you're going to like it, you won't, so don't. Just don't play it. Like, let the people who are going to enjoy it, like, be allowed the space to enjoy it without having to, like, argue with you.
Alright.
I'm Diabetes Ninja.
Yep, that's him and his opinion. And, I'm just gonna go on the grounds of I'd wait for a better deal. It's overpriced as it stands, but it's fun. If your friends got it, for some reason, play it.
See, I don't know. I don't think it's overpriced, comparatively to other fighting games. I do feel weird about spending $60 on it, but I feel weird about spending $60 on most fighting games right now, and I don't really know. That's just a me thing, I think.
Yeah, well,
but as far as a fighting game,
I remember some of the Blaze Blues coming out at $30 in the US.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not 3. I think 3 came out at like $49. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I didn't research that because I didn't think I would be saying it.
Well, I can't really expect Capcom to come in and make their new title $30 game.
Okay, yeah, I have the sticker 49 for Blaze Blue 3, and I know the one before that, to extend, was 30.
The Marvel license isn't free.
Yeah, that's another thing that I was thinking about, is the whole paying for characters down the line and it being a $60 game is like, man, it's a crossover game. where one of the crossovers is Marvel. Like you're paying for those characters.
I mean, yeah, but
But
from a consumer level,
yeah, no, definitely. As a consumer, none of that really matters unless you're a Marvel fan, in which case it matters a lot.
All right, so I guess in summary, I, Diabetes Ninja, think that it will be worth it because I have 4 different sets of peer groups who are all interested about it. It would basically be impossible for me to not get the $60 out of it before Christmas. So for me, it's a solid purchase because I have different groups of friends, and even if 2 of those groups of friends got tired of it, maybe the other 2 wouldn't. And then I'm gonna like get all the achievements and stuff and play the story mode and practice. So
Yeah, judging the game purely off where it is now, I think it's good. I think it's fun. I think it's worth buying if you want to buy it. I would definitely not put you off it. If you want to rent and try it. I think it's... I don't know. I think it's really good.
that's honestly what Redbox was made for.
Yeah.
you won't find any
Try to go
negative
with
surprises.
yeah.
You will only be pleasantly surprised. Like you,
Yeah, that's one of the things that I noticed is I couldn't find anything to complain about, really, as far as where the game is right now.
You can't find anything new to complain about because you've already heard everything bad going in.
I couldn't find anything at all to complain about. Now, as far as the future of the game is concerned, I can't really say, because it's not here yet.
Yeah. So I think that about wraps it up. We're pushing 40 minutes of us starting to repeat ourselves. So I'm Mixmaster Lar, Justice, Ninja, we're signing out.